What makes the best boondock camper? Some might argue that it's where the camper can get you, and some might argue how comfortable you are when you get there. The Arctic Fox Edge tends to split the difference of both of those, getting you into very remote places for long extended periods of time while keeping you in extreme comfort. Now the Arctic Fox Edge has come out with one model earlier, and now they have what we have today, the 26KX. The 26KX is brand new, just under 30 feet total. It is just about 8,300 pounds dry with almost 4,000 pounds carrying capacity. This is one big trailer. It is heavy and it is heavily built. First off, we start with the chassis. The chassis is built in-house. That's going to be an 8-inch I-beam that runs all the way through and is actually supported by angle irons at every stress point. So if we look in here, in each stress point, they do add in bar to keep that chassis from bending or twisting. It is very, very well overbuilt. Now we jump to the tires. These are Goodyear off-road tires. Look at those knobbies on there. It's going to give you a ton of traction when you're slipping and sliding and getting into some remote areas. The Goodyears are E-rated tires. You're carrying a lot of pressure in here, and so you got to make sure you got some good tires to get you there. They do have a CRE More Ride suspension system 3000, as well as the KYB shocks in there, which are standard for Arctic Fox and their sister brand Outdoors RV. If we back up here, the Northwood built Arctic Fox Edge has great style looking. Now, one thing that you'll notice is you have drop down stairs all the way to the ground on the left and hanging stairs on the right. Once we get inside, it'll make sense. But when you are traveling around, and especially when you're in off-road situations, dropping the stairs down to the ground aren't necessarily feasible when you have such an uneven ground. Having the hanging stairs, you can jump in there, and in this model, this is the easiest way to get to the restroom. So if you're traveling along, you just need to drop it out, drop down the stairs, not balance it out, and just run to the restroom. That is nice to have those stairs to be able to do that versus having to fumble around with the drop down stairs like that. Coming around back, this is outfitted with solar standard. This one has 1,000 watts solar standard. That is a ton of solar just for this camper to operate. You do have the option for an inverter on board, as well as up to 400 amp hour lithium batteries. On the back, we do have a 2-inch receiver, so you can mount a bike rack or extra storage on here. You've got a bar light up top. You have a bar light in the front as well. You've got this fat ladder going up to the top. It is a fully walkable roof. You have a huge rack and pinion slide on the back here. Look how solid that is. It is going to be one of the better built slides out there. Again, frameless windows. These are dual pane, keeping you well insulated throughout any of the seasons. You got hot and cold taps on your shower up front. Now you do have the cheeky wardrobe slide up here, which is on a Schwintek system. Now the Schwintek system was known to have a little bit of a problem in 21, 22. But since then, they've moved from a plastic gear drive to a metal gear drive, which has made the reliability gone up quite substantially. Getting blinded by that bar light up front, attached to the generator rack for some more storage, much larger propane tanks, and we're back to the hitch. Now you'll see this hitch is set up a little bit differently. It's underslung. What Arctic Fox came into before is you had to put on a riser on a lot of trucks, especially stock trucks. You'd have to still put on a riser. So when you'd unhook your trailer, and you put down your tailgate would hit that riser and put a dent in it. So by flipping that coupler to the bottom of the bottom of the frame there, it lowered it by about 5 inches, eliminating the need for that riser on a lot of different truck models. On the very front here, especially because you're going into a lot more remote places, getting bashed around with different tree branches, getting rocks thrown at it from your truck, you do have a molded fiberglass front cap with this big kind of rhino lining or Line-X lining on the front to help protect against that debris. In the pass-through here, a lot of deep storage. You do get the complimentary camp chairs. Make sure you ask about those. You do have a little light, be able to get to everything in there. Now you'll notice there's not a lot of systems in here. It keeps it pretty clean, especially when you're throwing a lot of heavy items back and forth. You don't want to be taking out, like a solar controller that might be fitted up in there. Again, with storage, nice big storage on the outside, being able to get to a lot of the amenities. You look how tall this is. This is almost 11 feet tall, getting up to that awning up there. So you got plenty of room. The old issue of running into the arms when you're going out and about, not an issue anymore. You'll notice on the hard stair here is a little bit different than some other ones. This one, without the sides on here, it actually allows you to jump the material that can collect on those stairs before you fold it up into the trailer. That was one of the most common complaints with those hard stairs, is that you'd fold up all the debris, water, what have you, into your trailer when you're ready to pack up and leave. You have an extending arm to be able to get all the way down, so you have a sturdy entry into your camper. But let's take a look inside this 26 KX. Jumping right in, it is a rear kitchen. Now, very similar to a lot of Arctic Fox style, you have fully wood cabinets all the way throughout, heavier hinges, slides, a lot of nice layout on the cabinetry, a lot of nice finishing on there. And right when we walk in, a ton of storage. So hanging locker to your right-hand side. When you walk in, throw your coats off, no problem. Up top, maybe hats, scarves, anything like that. You can throw up there. Keep those hinges very sturdy. On the left-hand side, this is coming into your pantry. So if you do have groceries, you can come right in here, throw them in the pantry. Nice deep pantry. And almost 2 feet in there and about maybe 1.25 feet wide. Down below, this is where it gets interesting. They're really trying to think different here. Give you the trash and recycling bins, as well as a cheeky little storage right here for paper towels. You pull this out, pull your paper towel rack out. Make it really convenient to keep your trailer nice and clean. Now, not only the cabinetry is built superbly, you also have the countertops. This is all solid countertops. It's not a composite. It's not going to peel if you get it wet. It is something that you can really put through its paces and it'll be holding up. Just a 3-burner stove with a much larger oven in there. You do have a spot for pots and pans down below. Up above, you got a little bit of storage above the microwave there. Place for all your dishware, glasses, cups, mugs. And then down here, you got your silverware, maybe spatulas, dish towels, and cookie sheets. Under here, a bit more storage for anything else that you might need to fit in there. Nice, easy spray hose to use, especially when you're doing the dishes, rinsing off that lettuce, trying to eat healthy. You got a split sink in here, one large, one small, for doing the dishes, making it a little bit easier. And the other thing to note is that the fridge is on the slide. So when that slide comes in, you're still able to jump into that fridge if you need to throw some groceries in there, which is really convenient, so you don't have to put out the slide every time you go to the grocery store. This fridge is going to be much deeper. It is a 12-volt fridge, so it does cool down in about an hour versus overnight, which you'd get with a traditional propane trailer, and it also will be able to run going down the road. A lot smaller draw off the batteries than old traditional 12-volt. You can see this nice cathedral-style ceiling, big arch in there. You got plenty of head height, nice skylight above the kitchen. There's a lot of light in here. You can tell that the AC is ducted with each one of these, so you can spin that, point it in a direction that you'd need. If we back up here, speaking of controls on this, this is the Fox forward system. It is how we operate most all of the trailer on here. It is a little bit overwhelming when you first look at it, but there are some pretty cool features on here. And one of the ones that you'll notice right away is battery charging, the usage, and if you do have an inverter, what the load is on there. So we have a small load on the inverter. You can see time to full, we have 0 minutes, which is awesome. It'll show you how much time it'll take to charge based on the solar that is currently charging up there. If I actually click on it, I can see the usage on there. I can see what type of battery I have on there, the capacity, and the time to full, and it'll give you a little bit of your usage throughout. You can also operate a lot of your different systems on here. So you've got your lighting, your equipment, water heaters, your slides, and your awning. Now on here, you can actually program the light switches, and those light switches are all throughout the trailer with little icons throughout, but you can really program these to be switch for any of the light systems in here. So if we flip around, this is the main living area. You've got a nice dinette down here. You have about a 6-foot span in between that. That does fold down into a bed if you do need an extra bed in here. Above that, you do have your entertainment center. This is going to be a nice Jensen 12-volt TV positioned pretty well across from your recliners. And those recliners giving you pretty great comfort, being able to recline all the way back. I'll give you a view on that in a second here. In terms of storage, got spots for maybe a little bit of books, board games, anything like that. Underneath the dinette, again, more storage down there, maybe a blanket. Now on the left-hand side, that is that is the intake for the furnace system. Now, speaking of the furnace system, it is ducted heating. This ducted heating does go throughout the trailer and it blows directly onto the tanks. Speaking of tanks, there is a 100-gallon freshwater tank on this trailer, and that is heated. You can opt for a 12-volt heat pad in addition to the ducted heating blowing directly on those tanks. As we move forward, it is a split bath. So you do have the option of going out and around to the other side. If someone's in here and using it, you need to get from one side to the other. Outside of that, it does make a much larger bathroom. So again, storage, storage, storage. Big storage up there. Towels, washcloths, bathrobes. And guys, we're talking about something that can go boondocking for long periods of time. This is a pretty great option for you. A lot of workspace on here for the bathroom. If we flip around here, even more storage behind the toilet. Nice porcelain toilet on there. Nice, almost residential style looking shower. I will jump in there for you. So jumping on in, again, 6'5", can stand up just fine. I'd be kind of cockeyed trying to take a shower. I'd be bended down a little bit, trying not to splash over the top. But again, I am on the larger side of things. Not too bad being in here. Even with this being a glass panel, I'm not too worried about bumping up against it with my elbows. I will do it, but it doesn't get in the way. One of the biggest benefits to the 26 is the king size bed. In the 27 SX, it does only have a queen bed. In the 26, it has a king bed with a push-out ward. So the king bed does eliminate a little bit of the side on each side for storage. You do still get a nightstand on either side. You get your outlets up above, nice little light switch, reading lights, storage up there, but you do have that wardrobe on the side on the slide. So a lot of great storage in the bedroom itself. King bed taking up quite a bit of room. You are scooting by a little bit to get around on each side, but it is doable. Blackout curtains all around. If you really want to close it down and have a nap in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day, you'd be able to do that pretty well just by pulling those down. So let's take a look at this theater seating. You get the complimentary throw pillows. Nice design on there. Fits in nicely. These are the ripcord style. Let's go parachuting. Whew. Ready to post up and watch a movie. So very, very comfortable. They do move. They're not attached to the floor, so you can move them around. If you have them pushed up too far to the back, you might kind of bump up against the screen on here. But at the end of the day, the end of a long day of adventuring around in some place where you're deep into the boonies, this is a great place to come relax, have the ability to watch a movie or two, and sip on a cold one or a coffee. A very exciting addition to the Arctic Fox Edge series. This is the second one in their series, just under 30 feet, 100-gallon fresh water, just about 8,300 pounds dry with almost 4,000 pounds carrying capacity. It is one heavy trailer. It comes down to the construction, the build, solid wood cabinetry throughout. You've got the 8-inch I-beams on the frame that are built in-house, and they're built in-house for a reason. They want to balance this out so it tows very well down the road. You have a lot of companies that just buy a bunch of chassis from a specific manufacturer, and then they cobble together a bunch of different layouts on there, not really paying attention to how it's built or laid out or balanced on there. So Arctic Fox really taking the time to understand how people are using this, because they know that the people that get this type of trailer want their comfort and luxury as well as the ability to go off-grid for long periods of time. This is the Arctic Fox 26KX. You can download the brochure link below, or you can get in contact with us at apachecamping.com.